Blessings, blessings, blessings. Happy Tuesday, friends. So I was just listening to something and it made me think about you don't have to wait to share your story. I think that so many times, we have these beliefs, right? Whatever they are, about timing and, oh, I want to share this, but I have to wait, right? We have these ideas that like there's these rules that we try to follow, right? Like you can't share what you're going through until you get through it. Why not, right? You can't share what you're learning or what you're journeying through until you're perfect at it. If you are somebody with this belief, I want you to sit with me for a minute, right? And I know I'm also someone who questioned a lot about when it's appropriate to share and can I share and all these things. And I remember people growing up, and I'm talking about my early adulthood, where people used to they would poke me, say stuff, do stuff, then I would react, and then they'll be like, and you want to help people? All right, got you. And that's what used to happen, right? And it never dissuaded me from believing that I can't help people, right? Like, I used to always just not understand, what was the purpose of that? Like, do you think because I just had a human experience that I am not allowed to share my story, that I'm not allowed to be encouraging to people, that I'm not allowed to help people because I had a human experience? Like, are you believing that you have to be perfect before you can share? And so a lot has changed for me this year. I also have my nodal, I think that's how you say it, nodal return, right? I have my North Node in Aries, and so I am experiencing a return there. And I definitely will say that this year has been very interesting, very fun. I'm very grateful for my experiences. And I just know I'm not who I started off the year as, and not even who I was during my birthday. I'm a lot freer, and I'm more me than I've ever been. And I'm sure I'll say this a million times in this lifetime, as long as I'm gifted with breath, because I'm constantly discovering more of myself. But what I want to say is, even if you hadn't gotten a grasp on whatever you're journeying through, does not mean that you can't share what you have learned, that you can't share what you have noticed. I feel like a lot of times we get in dense situations, whatever they are in this lifetime, we have these experiences and they're challenging, right? But you're not the only person who have these experiences. Other people are having them too. You may not see them, you may not notice them, you may not even know them, but there are other people having very similar experiences to you that you can help, right? Whether that's you just showing them how you're choosing to keep going, how you're choosing to live, how you're choosing to accept, right? Whatever the experience is. And so there's so many ways that we can share our stories, we can share our reflections with one another that can really support somebody else. And so I just want to encourage you that if you feel on your heart to share something, to share your experience, to share your journey, and you're sharing it from a place of wanting to empower others, I want to encourage you to do that. Or even sharing it to let people know what your journey has been like and how you are navigating it, And so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I do feel like so many of us feel like we have to be perfect, or we have to have it figured out, or we have to have overcome it before we can share it. Where in reality, you can start sharing now what you're learning, what you're realizing through this experience, what you've developed through this experience, how this experience has slowed you down. I have friends with different autoimmune diseases, and I know with them, I learned so much from them about what that experience is like and how they're navigating it, and every day is different for them. And they share that, they share with other people just what it's like. They educate people, they just talk about how they live a different life, right? And I think that that's the reality of it. As much as we want to say people are disabled, reality is we are differently abled, and we have to navigate our life from the truth of who we are, not who you believe we should be, not who you believe humans should be like, but the reality of our lived experience. We get to navigate through that. And so I just want to encourage those out there who have a desire to share their experiences, whatever they may be, even if you haven't perfected it, even if you don't feel like, oh, I don't know enough. Like, please take away all the noise from outside of you, everything you've heard about what has to happen before you are worthy of being heard. And I want you to ask yourself, am I ready? Do I want to do this? And if that's the case, then that's it. Like, you don't need anyone outside of you to dictate to you what your timeline looks like, right? Life is not linear. As much as everybody wants it to be, like, that's just not our human experience. It's just not. Yes, like, we can expect certain things, like, we're gonna grow, we're gonna age. There's certain things like we can just expect to happen. But as far as like all that in between, that birth and death, everything in between that is like, that can look so different for so many people, right? And everybody's experience is different, and they still get to be worthy. They still are enough. They still are whole, even with the experiences they're having. Even with the experiences we're having, whether that's experiencing depression, having schizophrenic episodes, right? Having manic episodes, right? Like, whatever it is, right? Experiencing different accidents, experiencing different illnesses or ailments, like, whatever it is, like, whatever, right? It's all part of the human experience, and therefore there's a chance that somebody's experiencing it. And if they're experiencing it, that is their human experience. It's not a matter of, oh, you're not supposed to be experiencing that. That's the experience you have. How is that not what you're supposed to be experiencing? That is the experience you're having. You're clearly having it for a reason. All right? How do you navigate through that, right? Like, and I'm sure you're not the only person experiencing it. And this message is not for those who are having an experience and they don't want to share. This is literally for people who feel like they have something to share or want to share. I am just encouraging you that you do not have to wait to share it. There is no timeline on when you can share it. That is a heart-centered choice, okay? And I want to encourage you to trust yourself, to know what is correct for you. You get to show up in your truth. You get to show up. Like, you have everything you need within you. Whatever wisdom needs to come out of you to the collective, whatever message you're here to share, it will come out. I pray that you trust yourself. But yeah, I was just like listening to someone's video who are experiencing their own unique human experience, and they're showing up. They're showing up, and they were talking about distractions, and it made me think about like how often people want to show up and like they come up with all these excuses, and a lot of it is not because they truly necessarily believe it, but because people have told them that that's how it is, because they've heard it online. People saying like, oh, how people teaching people and they ain't even get through it yet. Stop living by these arbitrary rules. You know what I mean? People are trying to stop you and distract you from what you're called to do. Do what you want to do. Do what feels good for you. Only you know from your internal compass what it's time for you to do. Please do not let us outside of you pressure you into anything else, make you believe anything else besides your truth, okay? Go within yourself. You have an inner compass. We all do. We all have a map within us for our unique experience, for our soul evolution. Yeah, I love us all so much, and I want us to all like live our truth out loud, right? I am Charlie. I am a self-proclaimed ambassador of shamelessly embracing and living your truth. I'm always going to speak out for you to express yourself freely, because you get to do that. And it doesn't matter what the rest of us thinks. If it's in your heart and it's for you to express, why wait? Why wait? If the message is ready now, why wait? You can tell us what you learned without having gotten through the whole thing. Shit, sometimes we want to know what happens in between. I know for me, like, I've experienced things, and by the time I get through it, I can't even connect with the feelings no more. So when I do talk about it, it feels so empty. It feels so empty because I no longer have an energetic charge to it. I no longer really resonate with the energy. And so I don't feel like my expression of it really gets through the way I would want it to. And so I've learned to start sharing my message as I'm going through, because I want you to, like, I'm having a human experience. This is what it looks like. And yet I'm choosing joy. And yet I'm choosing happiness. Yet I'm going no contact. Yet I'm isolated. Whatever it is, we get to share it. So yeah, I hope this message is going to reach who it's meant to reach. I love y'all. Be blessed. Show up, show out. Let me know if you post it so I can come and holla at you. All right, bye.